सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। पठामि संस्कृतं नित्यं वदामि संस्कृतं सदा ध्यायामि संस्कृतं सम्यक् वन्दे संस्कृतमातरम्। Hari Om. Welcome to our 12th session. Today also we will be starting with a very beautiful subhashita, a very beautiful golden saying, subhashita. I will chant first, repeat after me, then we will see the meaning also. Yasya nasti swayam prajna Shastram tasya karoti kim Lochanabhyam vihinasya Darpanah kim karishyati. Together. Yasya nasti swayam prajna Shastram tasya karoti kim Lochanabhyam vihinasya Darpanah kim karishyati. Very, very, very beautiful shloka is there. Very simple meaning. Okay. So far we have been, seeing so many shlokas like that. So let us see one by one, phrase by phrase we will see. Yasya swayam prajnana asti. Yasya, for whom, swayam, one's own, prajna, intelligence, na asti, is not there. One who doesn't have his own or her own intelligence, tasya shastram kim karoti. What can scripture do for such a person? What can scripture do for such a person who doesn't have his own intelligence? Means what? The poet wants to say here, even to study Shastra, even to understand Shastra, even to live the points which are given in the Shastra, a person is required to have his or her own intelligence. Study of Shastra is not a blind belief system where just close your eyes and follow. No. You have to use your own intelligence, your own common sense, your own understanding, maturity to understand and study the scriptures. One who doesn't have one's own intelligence, what will Shastra do? What will scripture do for such a person? Now to explain this point, an example is given in the second line. Lochanabhyam vihinasya. For a person who vihina, without lochanabhyam, without eyes. For a person who doesn't have eyes, darpanah kim karishyati. What can a mirror do? Darpanah means mirror. Kim karishyati. So what the poet wants to say here is, Shastra is like darpana. Shastra is a scripture. Is like a mirror. Now you see, this itself is a very vast subject. In Chinmaya Mission, we have a book called Scriptures a Mirror. Book itself is there. Why? Because that is how it is. When we study scriptures, what do we understand? We understand the faults that I have in my personality, because of which I am not able to experience that happiness, that joy. So Shastra should be studied for what? Gurudev, Swami Chinmaya used to explain very beautifully. He says, when you go in front of a mirror and you see that there is something wrong with your face, some black dot has come, what do? Do you start cleaning the mirror? Huh? No. You look at the mirror and you correct your own face. Now in today's generation, no, we are all hell-bent on changing our scriptures. We think that we have become so intelligent that scriptures are wrong. And therefore we want to change the scriptures. Wow. Arey, my dear, scriptures are meant for changing ourselves. We look at the scriptures, we understand where am I lacking. So looking at that, you correct yourself. Now even to do that, the poet is saying here that you need your own intelligence. Shastra, scripture is like a mirror. Yes, but to see the mirror, you need your own eyes. Only with your own eyes, you can understand what the mirror is trying to point out and correct whatever is required. Now, please understand this thing. Very beautiful Subhashita is there to explain this. Right? Also, one more point that it says is that scriptures are not meant for boosting our ego. It is not meant for that. See, somehow, mirror also we use for that only. See, the people who are over fascinated about their looks, you will see in their house there will be lots of mirrors. I have heard that some of them have got mirror on top of their bed itself. Full size mirror. Why? Because even while sleeping they want to look at themselves. As children also we used to do that. When we are going and there is some car parked, on that car glass also, windshield also, we start to correct our hair, etc. Somehow we have missed the point of mirror. Mirror was meant for what? That before you go in front of other people, present yourself in front of other people, just see if everything is fine. By mistake something would have happened somewhere, just see if everything is fine and then go. Mirror is meant for that. Mirror is not meant to boost our ego. Same is true for Shastra also. More and more Shastras we study, it is not supposed to be to boost our ego, saying that, oh, now I know this also and Bhagavad Gita, Swamiji, entire, done. Now what? Now I am doing Upanishads with Shankar Bhashya. Then what? Then Brahma Sutra. Then after Brahma Sutra, I am going to study all other things. Very good. Study is very good. But where are you using it for? What are you studying it for? As long as study is meant to make corrections in our life, it is fine. Okay? This is not a philosophy class, okay? This is a Sanskrit class only. But you see how beautifully in one small shloka, so many points are interpreted. So, yasya nasti swayam prajna, shastram tasya karoti kim. Lochanabhyam vihinasya, darpanaha kim karishyati. Yasya swayam prajna nasti. That yasya and vihinasya, that is where the simile is happening. Swayam prajna nasti lochanabhyam vihinasya. Okay. So a person who doesn't have intelligence is compared with a person who doesn't have eyes. And Shastra and Darpana, again Prathama Vibhakti, both are, that is where the simile is happening. That just as for a person who doesn't have intelligence, Shastra is of no use. A person who doesn't have eyes, mirror is of no use. That is what is the meaning. One more thing. You see the vastness and freedom that our culture provides. In Indian culture, we are never stopped from asking questions. Why? Because intelligence is given as much importance as the Shastra. The only thing that we are told is, let your intelligence be in line with Shastra. You ask questions. How come it is like this? Why it is like this? Why Sri Krishna says like this in Bhagavad Gita? Why Arjuna is asking this question? You ask questions. As long as those questions are meant for understanding the Shastra deeper and making corrections within yourself, the questions have no problem. That's why Gurudev always, Swami Chinmayananji always loved people who will ask questions. He used to say, longer the beard, greater is the suspicion. Don't believe because I am telling. You yourself think. If not clear, ask questions. As many times as you ask, those many times I will answer. There used to be question answers, doubt clarification sessions every time. That's what we are trying to follow also. So never we have been told that, oh, don't ask questions, shut up. No, you can't. In Indian culture, we are encouraged to ask questions. We are encouraged to ask questions. Why? Because asking questions is a mark of thinking. That you are not just listening, but you are thinking about it, and then some doubt is coming. Right? That is the point. So what is the meaning finally? What can mirror do for a person who is not having eyes? In the same way, what can scripture do for a person who doesn't have his own intelligence? So in Vedanta, if we see, it is called Shruti and then Shruti Anusarini Yukti. Shruti is the Vedas, the scriptures. And we say, after scriptures, what should be there? Yukti should be there. One's own logic should be there, which follows the Shruti. Okay? I hope the meaning is clear. Very beautiful Subhashita. Let us read once again and then we will move forward. Together. Yasya nasti swayam prajna shastram tasya karoti kim lochanabhyam vihinasya darpanah kim karishyati. Yasya swayam prajna nasti tasya shastram kim karoti. Example, what is that? Lochanabhyam vihinasya darpanah kim karishyati. Hope all the words are clear. Now let us continue. So every single time we are studying any Shastra, we have to understand that our intelligence also should be open, and we need to use our common sense to understand the Shastra also. Not take it very literally, but understand the bhava, understand the intention of the speaker, intention of the poet, of the writer, of anyone, right? So with that, we should study everything, including Sanskrit. Okay, including Sanskrit. Everything we should study with that thing. Now, last time, in the last two sessions, we have seen this concept called avyayani, indeclinables. I hope you remember the verse. Sadrisham trishulingeshu sarva sucha vibhaktishu vachaneshu cha sarveshu yannavyeti tadavyayam. What is avyaya? That which does not change. In all the lingas, in all the vibhaktis, in all the vachanas, in tenses, in different numbers, in everything, persons, in all these words remain same. And therefore they are termed under avyayani, indeclinables. They are called indeclinables. They do not change. We also saw these 12 types of avyayas. We saw these 12 types of avyayas, and we saw lots of examples, the frequently used and even remotely used avyayas we have seen. We also saw their usage in Bhagavad Gita, etc. In the first two chapters, we have seen that also. So sambandhakani avyayani, which are used as conjunctions. Kalavachakani, which represent time, which indicate time. Time, remember? Kalavachakani. Yada, kada, all those. Deshavachakani, which indicate the space, yatra, tatra, sarvatra. Kriya Visheshanani, those which are used as adverbs or with adverbs. Sankhya Vachakani, which are used as numerals, shatashaha, sahasrashaha, dvihi, like that. Prashnarthakani, which are used as questions, nanu, katham, all those things. Avyayani, okay. Kaha, ka, ke, kam, they are not obvious. They are also prashnarthaka, but they are not obvious. So those we have not yet seen. But prashnarthakani, avyayani we have seen. Nakaratmakani, na, no, ma, no, do not. Anirdishtani. Then we saw yatra kutrachita, yada kadachita, yatha katanchit, etc. Anirdishtani. Those also. Sambodhanatmakani. Bho, he, re, are, ave. All those also we have seen, which are used for indicating or addressing somebody. Anyani, now which do not come under any of these categories, that also we saw in the other category. Then we saw two kinds which are infinite in number, means many words can be made, which are kridantani and tadidani. Kridantani means the avyas which are formed from dhatus by adding krit pratyas, and taditani are the avyas which are formed from other pratipadikas by adding vat or taha pratyaya, tadita pratyas. So in kridantani we have seen three: twanta, lebanta and tumunnanta. Past participles and tum, patitum, all those also we have seen. Kartum, akartum, all that. Tadita we have seen vat in the meaning of like, rajju sarpavat, dandavat, and also taha, from, gramataha, durataha, grahataha, etc. So these many kinds of avyas, indeclinables we have seen so far. Now this, completes one topic. Okay, this is an independent topic of avyas which we have completed. Right. Now what we are going to see today, some of the words which are not avyas, their formation we will be studying, but before we study the formations, we are just getting familiar with these words, because these are the words which will be used very often, even in examples, right? So some verbs, some pronouns, all those we will be seeing today in just in one slide only, just a few things, so that we understand where it is what. Don't worry if you don't remember everything, because as we start using, these are frequently used. You will know these again and again by usage also. So we are going to see some important words which are often used in Sanskrit. Let us start. Saha or eshaha means he. Now please note, these are not avyas now. Avya topic is over. Okay. Now all the words that we are seeing are the formed words, and they will go through changes. Okay. Avyas did not go through any change. They were used as they are. Now the words that we are going to see today are the words that will go through change. But since they are often used, we are seeing them now. So saha or eshaha means he. There is a slight difference between saha and eshaha. Saha means he, who is far. Eshaha means he who is closer. In our regional languages, please connect it. It will become better for your understanding. English sometimes is a foreign language, no? It doesn't carry all these things. In Marathi also, I know Marathi, so I can only give example from there. We say to ani ha. To is saha, ha. Tu is different. Okay, both are prathama purusha only, third person only, but saha is far, he. Esha is he, the one who is in front, but still not second person, third person only. Same way, gender change. Sa, she. Esha, she. Both mean she, but sa means that she who is very far. Esha means the one who is in front. Now same thing, and now in neuter gender. Tat, that who is far. Etat is this, which is in front. For etat there is another pronoun, idam, this. Now these are the words you will see very oftenly used in all our scriptures. Even in conversations we use this. Saha, sa, tat. Eshaha, esha, etat, idam. All right. Tvam. Now second person. Third person is over. Now second person. Tvam, you. Now note, for tvam, earlier also we have seen there is no gender. You can be a gentleman or a lady or anything. Tvam, you. Now suppose you want to give respect to that person, then you say bhavan. Or bhavati, pullinga, strilinga. Bhavan means you, O gentleman. Bhavati means a lady. But again, now what happens is, though the meaning is you, but it goes in prathama purusha. It goes as third person. So bhavan gacchati, tvam gacchasi. As we go ahead, we will understand the significance of it. But for you, just remember this: bhavan or bhavati is you only, but with respect. With respect, we are saying. Tvam is kind of you can say tvam to your friend, somebody who is your son or somebody younger to you. You can say, but to elderly person, you should say bhavan or bhavati. Aham means I. Aham. Aham. Next. Kah, who, pullinga. Ka also means who, but strilinga. Kah agacchati, who is coming? Putraha agacchati. Ka agacchati, putri agacchati. Kim is what? Now same that for napunsakalinga, no? Kim karoshi. What are you doing? Am patami. I am studying. Kim. Yah, one who. Or ya, one who, lady. This is again often used in scriptures. Yasya, today we saw, no? Yasya nasti swayam pradnya. That is Shashti Vibhakti of this yah only. Changed its form and used. But often used. Gurudev used to translate this yah very interestingly. Whoever he may be, he who. He used to say. Yah means what? Whoever he may be, he who. Means what? Some person. Yah. One who is like this, saha, he will get like this. In those kind of terms, we will see these words being used in scriptures very often. Yah, one who is. Or ya, if it is a lady. Now some verbs. Which are also very commonly used. Asti is there. Vartate, same meaning, is. To be, no? In English we say to be. That verb is there, no? To be. That is this asti vartate. Bhavati also is used in the same meaning sometimes, but it can also be used in the meaning of becomes. Saha pita bhavati. He becomes father. He is father also is right. He becomes is also fine. Karoti, does. Now please note, we are seeing the verbs in prathama purusha, in the third person. Saha asti. Saha. In this first line, no? In that first line, we can make sentences like this. Let me first explain and then we can make small sentences. I'll show you how to do that. But we are seeing these verbs as third person. Asti, vartate, is, bhavati, becomes, karoti, does. Gacchati, goes. Gacchati. Pathati, reads or studies. Likhati, writes. Likhati, writes. Pashyati, sees. Pashyati, sees. Kridati or khelati, plays. Chalati, walks. Now if you carefully notice, many of these verbs we use in our regional languages. Their forms are different, but the basic root is same. Isn't it? मैं पढ़ रहा हूं, मैं लिख रहा हूं, मैं देख रहा हूं, दृश्य पश्य. Similar. मैं खेल रहा हूं, मैं चल रहा हूं. In Hindi also it is same. In Marathi also you see similar. So they are coming from same root, the form is getting changed, but the root is still same. And therefore, never be afraid of Sanskrit, because without you knowing, you know lot of Sanskrit. You don't know that you know lot of Sanskrit, but that's the fact. You just need to connect the dots and get a meaning out of it. Otherwise, you know lot of it, right? So, namati, salutes, prostrates. Archati, worships. Archana, name is also there, no? Archati, worships. Kathayati, speaks. Kathayati. Therefore, story is called as katha. Because it is spoken, no? It is told. Therefore, it is katha. Kathayati. Khadati, very important job. Khadati. Khana, to eat. eats. Pibati, drinks. Hasati, laughs. Hasati, hasna. Swapiti, sleeps. Swapiti, sleeps. Shrunoti, listens. Shrunoti, Shravanam. Shrunoti, listens. Manyate, thinks. Chintayati, also another thing for things only. So now this is sufficient now. Now you see here, we can make small sentences and we can understand how Sanskrit is used. Now you see here, no, this particular line, if you see this particular line is for questions. Okay. This is for pronouns. And this is verbs. Right? Now what we can do is, for now leave these things because they are second person and first person. Okay? But you can use these and you can also use this. Now we can make small questions. Kaha gacchati? Kaha gacchati? Who is going? Ka pathati? Who is studying? Who is reading? Kaha likhati? Who is writing? So you see this kaha ka, if you put with every single verb, questions will be formed. Kaha pashyati? Ka namati? Kaha khadati? Kaha swapiti? Kaha shrunoti? And the answers can be given as saha pashyati, sa pashyati, or all the names that we know we can use. Krishnaha patati, Ramaha khelati, Ganeshaha khadati, Kumbhakarnaha swapiti, Ravanaha hasati. See, we know all these names, isn't it? And we can make small sentences like that. But these are the words that we will be using a lot. There are many more verbs. Many more verbs are there in Sanskrit, but these are the verbs that we use in common language, even in scriptures, etc., very frequently, and therefore we should know this. So you see, now using this, no, play small games. You teach your children also small things and start conversing small. Don't have to go into very complicated things, etc. Kaha khelati? Balakaha khelati. Shishuhu khelati. Kaha hasati? Mata hasati. Mother is smiling. Why? Because the child is playing. So mother is smiling, look it. So like that, small sentences we can make. Okay? Is this okay? So this way, and why we wanted to introduce these words, because now the topic that we are starting, we will be using examples. In those examples, majority we will use these words only, or the names that we know. Rama, Krishna, Sita, Ramesha, Ganesha, Suresha, all these kinds of names we will use for examples purpose. Okay? Is that fine? Shall we move forward? All right. Now, we have seen alphabets in Sanskrit. We have seen words. We saw the basics of word. You remember word formation. What are the basics? How Subanta and Tinganta, only two types are there. How Subantas are formed, how Tingantas are formed. We have seen the basic things about it. We also saw some important concepts for word formation. What do we mean by Vachana? What do we mean by Purusha? What do we mean by Vibhakti? What do we mean by Purusha? All these different kinds of concepts we have seen. Now we have to go to the next level of understanding, and that is constructing a sentence or understanding a sentence. Because in Sanskrit, words independently cannot be studied unless they are connected with other words in a sentence. That is the thing about Sanskrit, which earlier also we were seeing, that since prepositions etc. are joined with the nouns, pronouns, adjectives etc., so they are to be understood in the context of a sentence only. Independently we can't just study words. We can study the words, but we will not understand. Where are we using it? Right? So they have to be understood in the context of sentence. So that is what we are going to see now. So alphabets coming together to give a proper meaning gives a word. A word always ends either with supratyaya or ting pratyaya. That also we have seen. So they are either subantas or tingantas. And if they are none of these, avyayas, which we have already covered. Right? Avyayas we have already covered. Right? And then these words come together to form sentences. So that is where we are. What is a sentence? A sentence is a correct grammatical arrangement of words to give a sound semantic meaning. This is not definition from somewhere, I have just coined it for our understanding. So don't take it as some proof or some authority, etc. It is just for our understanding we have created. What is it saying? Correct grammatical arrangement of words. In Sanskrit, to make any sentence, grammatical arrangement has to be correct. So which word will come in Prathama Vibhakti, which word will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti, the verb will follow what, verb will be of which form. All of that grammatically has to be correct, but for what? To give a sound semantic meaning. The semantic meaning should be correct. What is the meaning of semantic? See, only if grammar is correct doesn't mean sentence is right. Suppose, let me explain in English also. If I say, I am flying. Okay, I am flying. Grammatically, is the sentence correct? Yes. I, subject, am, verb, flying. Am flying is a verb. Now, I am flying means by flight. That is understood. Because I as a human being cannot fly. But understood. But it has got some semantic connection. If you say, the stone is flying, still it has got some sense because somebody has thrown the stone and the stone is flying. It has got something which is giving a semblance of meaning. But if I say, ocean is raining, now think about it. Is this sentence grammatically correct? Yes. Ocean, subject, is, verb, raining, is raining. But can ocean rain? No. So though grammatically it is correct, that doesn't mean it is a proper sentence. Why? Because it is not giving any meaning. Then what? Then somebody has to come and explain what do we mean by ocean. There is a person called as ocean and that ocean is raining, is falling down. Somewhere something has to be given so that the meaning will be correct. So in Sanskrit also, of course grammatical arrangement is required, but along with that, it should also provide a correct sound semantic meaning. TV is studying. How can TV study? Why? TV is not an independent person. So grammatically it is correct, but semantically it is not correct. Okay? I hope you are getting the point. So to make a sentence, yes, first grammatical arrangement of words is important, but it should also have a nice correct meaning. Then only it can be called as a proper sentence. Okay? In traditional Sanskrit classes, etc., they will give you meaning, example for this, Vannina Sinchati. Vannina Sinchati. Sinchanam means to put water into some tree, etc. Now, you can't put fire into the tree, and so Vannina Sinchati is grammatically correct sentence, statement, but semantically it is not right. Okay? So, I am just telling you because sometimes, you will go to some other class and they will speak of this. Then you will say, oh, Vedji did not teach us like that. I am purposely not bringing those examples here for some other reason because we don't come across such things. Okay? But please understand, to make a sentence, we need to put words in grammatically correct arrangement. At the same time, it should give a semantic meaning. Alright. Now, which type of word is a must in a sentence? Think, how many types of words have we seen? In Sanskrit, we saw only two, Subanta and Tinganta. But within that Subanta, we saw nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, indeclinables, verbs. Now, which of these six, which is that one type of word which is a must in a sentence. Without that, a sentence is not complete. What is that? Think about it. It has to be a verb. A verb is a must in a sentence. And therefore, how do we know that there is a sentence if there is a verb? And if there is verb is not there, then we have to provide a verb. It must be very obvious and therefore verb is not mentioned. Sometimes that is also possible. But there has to be a verb. Without that verb, sentence is not complete. So verb, kriya or kriyapada, both mean same, verb. That is a must. Now, how do we form sentence? So, there are other important components in a sentence. Verb is there. There are two more most important components in a sentence, and they are subject and object. Karta and karma. Karta and karma. Karta means subject and karma is object. Now let me explain this little further. A sentence generally is made up of subject, object and verb. This is well known. Subject is the person who is performing the verb, the action. The action is indicated by the verb. So just now we saw karoti, patati, gacchati, khelati, swapiti, khadati. All these are verbs. Now one who is performing those actions is the karta. Saha patati, saha gacchati, saha khelati. Okay. So that is karta and kriyapad. That's the connection between the subject and verb. Now what is object? Object is that which is most important for subject. Means what? Kartuhu ipsitatamam karma. That is how Panini defines action. That which is most desirable by the subject is called as object. Karturu ipsitatamam karma. One of the rules of Panini Ashtadhyayi is that he defines what is karma. So here karma means object. Now please, those who study Vedanta, please understand, in each science the meaning of the words will be little different. We call it as paribhashika shabda. Paribhashika shabda means what? Technical terms. Technical terms. Let me give you an example. Work. My favorite example. Work. This work word we use in our colloquial English also. I am doing work. You didn't go for work today? We use. But when that same work comes in physics is a science. Now there, that word has got a specific meaning. In physics, work is defined as force into displacement. So there, that work W is equal to F into D. I don't know why I still remember all these things that I studied in school, but you see, so what happens is that work there in physics is used in a proper, in a specific way, not in a general way. It's a technical term. So all these are technical terms, please understand. In Vedanta also these terms may be there and they will be used in a different way, because Vedanta is a different Shastra, different science. So karma there will be action and result of action. But in Sanskrit, karma means object. Karta, subject. Now in Vedanta they will say subject is self only, who is not karta, who is akarta. Hey, don't mix two sciences in between, okay? Here in Sanskrit, karta means subject of a sentence, karma means object of the sentence, and kriya or kriyapada means verb of a sentence. So verb indicates the action, subject indicates the doer of the action, and object indicates on whom the action is performed. Aham gramam gacchami. That gramam becomes object. Aham patham pathami. Aham pustakam pathami. Aham lekham likhami. So aham is the subject. Likhami is the verb. Lekham, patham likhami. Aham gitam pathami. So that gitam becomes object. So subject, object and verb. These are the basic things that are there in a sentence. Now, the structure of a sentence. So about this also we have seen in English, the structure is SVO. What is this SVO? S means subject, V means verb, O means object. So this is how it is, isn't it? I see film, movie. I am seeing a movie. So I is the subject, then comes the verb, then comes the object. This is the structure of English language. In Hindi, etc., subject, object and then verb. मैं चलचित्र देख रहा हूं. मैं पुस्तक पढ़ रहा हूं. मैं क्या कबड्डी खेल रहा हूं. ठीक है. So subject, object, verb. This is the general structure of Hindi language, etc. There will be in all colloquial languages, etc. Different structures might be there. Now in Sanskrit, what is the structure? In Sanskrit, what is the structure? So we say no fixed structure is there in Sanskrit, but SOV is generally used. SOV is subject, object, verb. Aham patham pathami. I can say pathami patham aham. I can say that because no fixed structure, because we saw earlier also Sanskrit is a free word order language. You can change order of the words and the meaning will still remain the same. That flexibility Sanskrit has got. But generally to communicate, we use this structure. SOV. SOV. Subject, object, verb. So if you want to explain the language to somebody, you should kindly use this kind of structure. Okay. As we study more and more Sanskrit, we become more and more poetic. We start to take liberty with this structure. Asti kaschit. We start with the verb. It gives a beauty to the language, I understand. But to make it easy, and that's why Anvaya we have seen. If you remember, verse is also there. We convert it into a kind of sentence. Today also we did that. Yasya nasti swayam prajna. What did we do? Yasya swayam prajna nasti. So what did we do? Subject, object and then verb. So we try to do that. Why? For simplicity. There is no such rule that it should be in this way, but for simplicity, for our use, for our understanding, we use this structure. SOV, subject, object, verb. Okay. There will be other words which are used. Like in English also, I am playing with bat. For fitness. So there will be other words which will be used, which will come in the order that is required, but the basic, okay, minimum what is required for a sentence is verb. Now basic what is generally there, subject, object and verb. There will be some other words also we will be seeing. Okay, but this is the general structure. Alright. Some examples. Aham patami. I am studying. Ramaha vanam gacchati. Sri Rama is going to forest. Shri Krishnaya namaha. Now you see here, there is no verb. But astu is to be provided. So in that slide of verbs which we saw, no, that asti bhavati vartate. You remember the first three verbs that we have seen? Whenever there is no verb, you can use any one of it because all of them mean same. So you can use any one of them. Shri Krishnaya namaha astu. May there be prostrations unto Shri Krishna. But without a verb, sentence is not complete. But in Sanskrit, you see, it is understood. See, when I come home from outside and I come and somebody is there, my wife is there, my husband is there, somebody is at home. Then I say water. Then what? You understand, no? What? This person wants water to drink. You get water. Now, is water a sentence? No. But you don't have to tell, get me water. You don't have to say. You say water, it is understood. When the verb is very, what we say, natural, we don't have to mention it. Somebody has entered and door behind is shutting. Door. You start shouting, door. What is this door? Arey, that door is going to smash on there. Please hold. All these things are understood by you just saying door. Okay. So not every single time we have to use the verb, but that verb is there, which is understood. So in Sanskrit also, I am not talking about spoken Sanskrit only. Whenever in Shastra, etc., there will not be any verb. We have to provide the verb. And the verb that we provide, either asti or bhavati or vartate, vidyate, 4. These are 4 in the same meaning, which are provided. Okay? All right. Now, I was telling you that there are many other words also which can be used in a sentence. Now for that, how and where and which way we are going to use the words, different words, is that all the words are connected to the verb or some other word of the sentence. And therefore, to create a sentence, verb is a necessary component. Once you have the verb, you ask all these questions to the verb and you will get different answers, and with that you will be able to make a sentence. Let me give you example. Suppose gacchati is a verb, goes. Okay, now you ask the question, who goes? Sri Rama goes. Where? Forest. With whom? To whom? Why? Whence? From where? Whence means from where? From the home he is going to forest. Why is he going to forest? Because father, Pituhu Vachana. You remember Pituhu Vacha? One shloka we had seen. Ramo nama babuva tadabala sitetitu ta Pituhu Vacha panchavati vane nivasataha. So Rama is going to the forest from his house to fulfill the wish of his father. Yeah? So what I am saying is, now suppose pathami is the verb, reads. Pathati, better to use pratham purush, because pathami will know that I am reading. Pathati. Then you ask question, who is studying? What is he studying? Sanskrit. Aham Sanskritam pathami. Or saha Sanskritam pathati. Why? No idea. Because he wants to study. What do you mean you don't have any idea? Why? Because his father told. Because he doesn't have anything to do. Whatever may be the reason, we don't have to get into that. But there will be something. Where is he studying? From where? Now, suppose I am saying, Aham vadami, I am speaking. Or Saha vadati, he is speaking. Then to whom? To whom is he speaking? What is he speaking? Why is he speaking? See, different questions. I am just putting few questions here. There can be more questions. With what? In what? Where? Wherein? At what time? All these different questions. When you ask to the verb, you will get answers, and with that you can construct a sentence. Alright. Now we come to the topic. Today's topic. What? Vibhakti pratyayas. These are the suffices pratyayas that are added to the basis pratipadikas. Okay? Vibhakti pratyayas. Why? In the meaning of prepositions. So that the word that is formed can be used in a sentence. Okay? To connect the word to the verb or to another word. Means to use it in a sentence. Sentence means what? There are words which are coming together, which are connected to each other. Then only it is a sentence, isn't it? So a pratyaya suffix is added to the base pratipadika in the meaning of preposition in order to connect that word to the verb or to another word of the sentence. Without adding vibhakti pratyayas, subanta words are not formed. Two types of words, subanta and tinganta. That subanta is when by adding vibhakti pratyayas. Now, there also, there are two types of vibhakti pratyayas, because we are saying that to connect the word to the verb or to another word. Now, if we are connecting the word to the verb, it is called as karaka vibhakti. These are very important topics. Many people study Sanskrit for years together, but they don't get the basic understanding of this. So, sometimes the pratyayas are added to connect the word to the verb, whereas sometimes the pratyayas are added to connect that word to another word, not directly to the verb. Let me explain. Dasharathasya putraha vanam gacchati. Now what I have done, the same sentence, Ramaha, I have changed that word Ramaha into Dasharathasya putraha. It means same only. Now closely you see, Ramaha gacchati, Vanam gacchati. Now this word Ramaha and Vanam, or there in Putraha and Vanam, are connected to the verb. Putraha gacchati, son goes. Vanam gacchati, goes to forest. But that Dasharathasya is not connected to the verb. Dasharathasya means of Dasharatha. It is connected to another word, and that is Putra. Dasharathasya putraha vanam gacchati. So the word Dasharatha is connected to Putra, and then that word Putra is connected to verb. So the connection between Putra and Gacchati is Karaka Vibhakti, and the connection between Dasharatha and Putra is Upapada Vibhakti. Little bit understand. Both have got Vibhakti Pratyayas at the end. Dasharathasya Shashti Vibhakti, Putraha Pratama Vibhakti. Vibhakti Pratyayas are only there. But sometimes the pratyayas are used to connect the word to the verb. Sometimes vibhakti pratyayas are used to connect that word with another word, which in turn may be connected to the verb. That is fine. But right now the pratyaya which we are talking about is connecting that word with another word. Therefore it is called as upapada vibhakti. Aham. Kena saha gacchami. This question only we can have. Aham kena saha khelami. With whom should I play? Suppose I am asking this question. Now, aham is connected with khelami. But kena is connected with saha. Saha is another word. So you see, upapada vibhakti is used. For Shashti Vibhakti, always Shashti Vibhakti is Upapada Vibhakti. Why? Because it is connecting to another word, not directly to the verb. So the connection can be between a word and a verb, then that connection is through Karaka Vibhakti. And the connection can be between a word and another word, then the connection is called Upapada Vibhakti. Vibhakti is basically connecting. Okay? Very, very beautiful. See, Vibhakti word, no bhakti, actually means to separate. Actually, bhaj dhatu is to separate. But it is used, Vibhakti means to join, to connect. So words are connected to form a sentence using this Vibhakti pratyayas. Now, these Vibhakti pratyayas themselves are called as supratyas. You remember we were seeing that there are only two kinds of words. Sup anta and ting anta. Yes, ting anta are verbs, which we will see later. Now we are focusing on subanta, the words that end with supratyaya. And those supratyas are added to the base pratipadika. Remember? Now, that itself is called as Vibhakti Pratyaya. So, Vibhakti sometimes it's called as noun forms. Why? Because noun is pratipadika, but it creates forms of those nouns. Sometimes it is called as case, vibhakti cases, first case, second case, third case, fourth case, fifth case, sixth case, seventh case, etc. Sometimes it is called as declension, first declension, second declension, etc. These are different terms, but basically what are they? They are supratyas. Pratyaya is suffix, dress. To that pratipadika, you are putting a dress so that that pratipadika can go out. Can go out means what? Can be used in a sentence. Okay? Okay, so far fine. Now, what are these supratyas we are talking about? So, these 21 are the pratyas which are called as supratyas. Don't have to memorize anything I have told earlier also, but just for information you should know. Carefully first understand. We are trying to make nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs is fine, keep that adverb little side because they are very simple. We are basically trying to create nouns. They can be used as pronouns, adjectives, etc. We are trying to create nouns. Now those nouns are in 7 cases, 7 vibhaktis. Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami. And they are in 3 vachanas. Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana. We had seen something called as address. Remember? There was some address for Subanta. What were the factors which were used as address for Subanta? Please go back in your notebook. Pratipadika, Anta, Linga, Vibhakti, Vachana. In that the first 3 are connected to Pratipadika. When I say Rama, the moment I say Rama, Rama is the Pratipadika which is Akaranta and which is Pullinga. But when I am creating a noun out of it, then the next 2 will be added, which Vibhakti and which Vachana. So this is a tabular form for that. Okay, so these are the pratyas, these are the dresses. So now let me explain it like this. Earlier also we saw that these vibhakti pratyas are going to be used to create connection between a word and a verb or word and another word. That's the kind of connection that these pratyas are going to create. Now, what kind of connection are you expecting? Based on that, based on the row and column, we will decide which cloth to be given to which word. Suppose I am going to a funeral. Then there is a different kind of dress that I am supposed to wear. Suppose I am going to a marriage function. A different kind of dress I am supposed to wear. Suppose I am going to office for conference, for meeting, for presentation. Different kind of dress I am supposed to wear. The person is same, but according to the where it is going to be used, I am changing dresses. In the same way, Pratipadika base is same, but based on how it is going to be used in a sentence, you have to decide which dress to be given to whom. And that dress can be decided based on Vibhakti and Vachana. So it is of which Vibhakti and it is of which Vachana. If you know that, then you can take that base, take that pratyaya, take that dress and add it to the base. Okay, so sup pratyayas when we say, we are speaking of 21 pratyayas. That's it. Why 21? 7 rows, 3 columns, 7 into 3, 21. Why are they called as sup pratyayas? Because they are starting with su and ending with pa. This is a kind of acronym method which is used in Sanskrit. Su, pa. It is starting with su and it is ending with pa. There is no pa anywhere in between. So when we say sup, it means su aujas, amauchas, tap byambis, game byambas, gasip byambas, gas os am, ni o sup. We are talking about this 21 pratyas. Now, What is this? Suvauja, samaucha, stabhyam. What is this happening? Some method is there in Sanskrit grammar to simplify everything. Okay, I will not be able to explain to you everything right now. Probably I will not be able to explain to you everything in this entire course, because it requires little more understanding and explanation in terms of grammar. Why Panini created this kind of system? It requires all that. But right now, please understand that to make everything very simple, there are only 21 pratyayas which are used. Su, au, jas. And each one of it has got a specific thing. You see, su means what? Prathama ekvachan. Prathama vibhakti ekvachan. Au is what? Prathama vibhakti dvivachan. Jas is what? Prathama vibhakti bahuvachan. So the moment you say something, it is connected to a row and a column, a particular vibhakti and a particular vachana. So all the words, all the nouns that you have heard in Sanskrit that are used in Sanskrit will have ending one of these 21. And therefore, if you understand which one, you will be able to directly understand what is the meaning of that word. So generally what is happening? Base plus pratyaya. That is what is happening, isn't it? Now base also has a meaning. Pratyaya also gives a meaning. So Rama is a base. Ramasya is a word where Rama plus ngas, this pratyaya is added. Now this pratyaya means what? That also has to be explained, right? So when this pratyaya means what is understood, because you know the meaning of base also and now you know the meaning of pratyaya also, you will be able to understand the meaning of word Ramasya. In the next slide, we will see what is the simple meaning of 7 vibhaktis in terms of prepositions. And therefore, if you understand that, you will be able to easily understand what is the meaning of the word. That's why I am trying to explain Sanskrit is not a very difficult language. It is only that we have not thought about it. Therefore, we think that it is a difficult language, right? So, to the base, when particular pratyaya, particular dress is added, then it creates a word which can be used in a sentence and therefore it has got a proper meaning. The base has got its own meaning. Pratyaya will add that meaning to the word's meaning and will give a total meaning for that word. Ramaya for Rama. Ramasya of Rama. Ramat from Rama. Now, from where am I getting all these things? These are the meanings that are coming from the pratyayas. So, supratyas are basically set of 21 pratyayas. 21 kinds of dresses are there. Each one has got its own meaning inherent to it. And that meaning is determined by 2 factors, which vibhakti and which vachana. So based on that 7/3 matrix, 21 pratyayas are there. You understand the meaning of this individual thing, that is done. You can understand the meaning of any of the pratyayas, and when they are added to the base, you can understand the meaning of the word also. Okay. Now, while creating, we are deciding which dress to be worn and then we are taking it to the base and you are using it. If it is already used, then you are understanding which of this is used and then you are going backtracking and understanding what is the meaning. Understand, language is used in 2 ways. One, when you are creating words, and second, when you are understanding words. When you are creating words, you have to choose which pratyaya is to be added to the base. But while understanding, you have to understand which pratyaya is already used. And by that you have to understand what is the meaning. In any case, this is what will be required to understand the entire gamut of nouns. Okay, su, au, jas, out, shas, tabhyam, bhis, nyebhyam, bhyas, ngasibhyam, bhyas, ngas, os, am, ni, os, sup. These are the 21 pratyayas which are called as supratyas. Okay, in bracket what I have written is how that pratyaya actually takes a form while getting added. So though the pratyaya is called su, but when it is added, it is only added as sa. That u is a wrapper which is removed. Pratyahara. Au is like that only, just becomes us when getting added. Remains same. Out, that ta goes. Shas, sha goes. Ta, ta goes. Bhyam, bhyam is same only. Nge, ng goes. Ng goes. Ng goes. Ng goes. That there also all these are bound by rules. I tell you, Sanskrit grammar is too perfect. Panini has given all the rules for every single thing. Even how that su will end up being sa. Why ngas ends up being us. Every single thing is created by rules. Okay. We are not going to see that because that will become too much complicated. You want to study, you go to BA, MA, Sanskrit, they will teach you all these things. Okay. Even these 21 are given by Panini only. There is a one entire sutra, swaucha, samoucha, stabhyambis, gebhyambis, gasibhyambis, gaso, samni, osup. This one sutra itself is there in Panini Ashtadhyayi, right? So this is what is the structure. This is why it is called as supratyas or subanta. When we say subanta means what? The word is ending with one of these 21. That's it. More than that, there is nothing. Now you say any noun that you have heard so far, everything ends with one of these 21. Every single noun that you have heard. Okay. The form may look different. Karma, Shri Bhagavan, Bhagavan, Nachiketa. Okay. The form may be different, but actually all of them are having supratyaya. Karman, nakaranta shabda, supratyaya is added, the form is karma. Bhagavat, takaranta shabda, supratyaya is added, becomes Bhagavan. Nachiketas, sakaranta shabda, tu supratyaya is added, it becomes Nachiketa or Nachiketaha. Two forms are there. All of them, every single verb, every single noun that we know, that we have heard ever in Sanskrit, all of them have one of these 21 pratyayas added to them. That is it. There is nothing more than that in nouns. Alright. Now, let us see the last slide for today to understand what are these vibhaktis. So, as we were seeing, there are 7 vibhaktis, but sometimes one more vibhakti is added, which is called as Sambodhana Prathama. It is Prathama vibhakti only, but it is used in a different form. Therefore, sometimes they say there are 8 vibhaktis, but basically there are 7 vibhaktis. Now, what are the vibhaktis? What is the name of that vibhakti? What is the karaka, etc. used? Preposition used? Example, meaning, everything is mentioned there. We will see little more about it in the next session, because then only we will get an idea. But let me just go through the table. So vibhaktis are 7 plus 1. Okay. So named also very simple names are Prathama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, first case, second case, third case, fourth case, fifth case, sixth case, seventh case, and Sambodhana Prathama, that is vocative case, that is to address somebody. Now all of them have got name, particular name in English. Nominative case, it gives nomination, it gives subject. Accusative case, it gives object. Instrumental case, it indicates the instrument that is used. Dative case, ablative case, genitive case, locative case, and vocative case. Okay. Vocative case. Then there is karaka. If you remember, I was explaining to you karaka vibhaktis. In what sense is that word connected to the verb? Remember? So, this Prathama Vibhakti is connected to the verb as karta, as the subject, therefore kartru karaka. Dvitiya Vibhakti word is connected to the verb as karma, object, therefore karma karaka. Tritiya Vibhakti is connected to the verb as an instrument, karana, lekhanya, kandukena, aham kandukena khelami, I am playing with ball. Aham lekhanya likhami, I am writing with pen. Now that lekhanya is Tritiya Vibhakti. Why? Because it is an instrument of action. Chaturthi Vibhakti is connected to karaka as sampradana, to whom it is offered. Sampradana. Panchami Vibhakti is used as apadana, from where the action has started. Kramat agacchami. Shashti is not connected to the verb. Just now we were seeing. Why? Because Shashti is connected to another word. So it doesn't have karaka. There is no karaka for Shashti Vibhakti. There is only upapada. It is connected to another word. And Saptami, finally locative case, is called as adhikarana. Adhikarana, the place of action, where the action is happening. So, and of course Sambodhana is again not having karaka because it's address. Now the same thing is explained as prepositions. Now this is most important column for you to understand, right? So Prathama Vibhakti is used, no preposition. Why? Because it is the subject. No preposition is there in the meaning. It's the subject of the sentence. Dvitiya is to. To. Whenever there is a preposition to, it will be used in Dvitiya Vibhakti. Tritiya Vibhakti, by or with. By or with. Chaturthi Vibhakti is for. For. Panchami Vibhakti, from. From, apadana, from the place. Shashti Vibhakti is of. Son of Dasharatha. So when you are saying son of Dasharatha, that of Dasharatha will be put together and it will be Dasharathasya. Shashti Vibhakti will be added. Saptami, in, on or at. In the place, on top or at that place, at that time. So place and time. That will be Saptami Vibhakti. Again, Sambodhana has no preposition because it is used as address. So this is how Vibhaktis are going to be used. Example is given here. Devaha. Devaha means subject of the sentence. Devaha asti. God is there. Devam. Now what is the meaning of Devam now? To Deva. See here. This Deva is a God. There is no preposition. Devam is to God. Devena, by God or with God. Devaya, for God. Devat, from God. Devasya, of God. Deve, in God. He Deva, O God. Okay, only in Ekavachana we have used. Just to give you example. So here you see what I was mentioning. Deva is a base. Can you see this? You can't see what I am writing? You can see very faint. Alright, let me use some other. Alright, I think this will be sufficient. Deva is a base. That base has got a meaning, God. Now to that base, we are adding different pratyayas. When I am adding that kind of pratyaya, that pratyaya also will give some meaning. So here we are adding supratyaya, it is giving a meaning of subject. Here I am adding pratyaya, Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana pratyaya, it is giving meaning of to God, by God. So all these things, if you see here, Deva, 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 Deva is common. Correct? Now what is there? This Visarga is extra, Halfma is extra, Ena is extra, Aya is extra, At is extra, Sya is extra, A is extra, He is extra. Now all that is because of the pratyaya which is giving a specific meaning of preposition. So when we say Devaya, we mean for God. For Deva. Okay, so there is a meaning to the base and there is also meaning that the pratyaya is carrying. Now, as we go along, we are going to see the meaning of this pratyaya. That is our main topic, Vibhakti. But at the same time, we will also start understanding what are the meanings of some of the bases also. Some of the bases will be known. Right? Is that fine? Okay, so Vibhaktis are 7 in number, or sometimes they say 8 in number. They all carry They are all actually pratyas, suffices, that are added to the base, and they all carry a specific meaning in terms of preposition, and they are used to connect that word to the verb or to another word of a sentence. In this meaning, they are used. Is this fine? So now what we will be doing is, in the upcoming classes, we will go one by one and understand each vibhakti one by one. Prathama vibhakti we will study properly. In what way it is used, how the word is formed, how it is used in the sentence, we will thoroughly understand. Then we will go to, and of course, in each we will see the examples from Gita. So in Gita, verses where Prathama vibhakti is used. Then Dvitiya vibhakti will go. What are all the usages of that Dvitiya vibhakti? How it is used? How the word is formed? Tritiya, Chaturthi. Individually, we will go through all the vibhaktis from the next class. Okay. This is one of the most important topics of Sanskrit, vibhaktis. Okay. I am sure all those who have studied Sanskrit in school remember nothing about Sanskrit other than vibhaktis. I am 100% sure about it. You only remember Ramaha Ramo, Ramaha Pratama, Ramam Ramo, Raman Dvitiya, Ramena Ramabhyam, Ramahi Tritiya. But at that time we did not understand what are we doing. We were just memorizing things. Now, at this age also, we must understand. Even if we don't memorize, it's fine. But understanding is what is important. So please go through the class recording again when it comes on YouTube. Please go through the slides again, notes that you have made, go through them again, understand what exactly is the purpose of vibhakti, what is karaka vibhakti, what is upapada vibhakti, how that vibhakti is used, how it gives meaning, etc., etc., so that it will help us in understanding the remaining things. Okay? All right. Introduction is done. Okay, in first 11 classes. Now we are going into a serious Sanskrit subject. Serious, not difficult. There's a difference. We're going into serious means what? We have to put efforts. It's not difficult. It's easier only. Okay. Chalo, we'll conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Harihi.